The strange old house. Wolf had come round to play. Wolf must got a netball match tomorrow, so my mom is taking me to Huntley Hall, he told Biff. It's a stately home. Do you and Chip want to come too? Just then, Chip came into the room. What's that about ghosts? He said. Wolf thinks there might be ghosts at Huntley Hall, will explain Biff. But there are no such things as ghosts, are there? Chip thought about this. I don't think so, he said. Just then, he noticed a familiar light in the corner. The magic key was glowing. I hope this doesn't mean we're going somewhere spooky, said Chip. The magic took the children to the grounds of a big house at night. This place looks a bit spooky, said Chip. It's Huntley Hall, said Wolf. I recognize it from the picture. It's cold and windy out here, said Biff. Should we see if anyone is in? Before she could knock on the front door, Wolf gave it a gentle push. It's open, he said. Let's have a look around. It was dark and quiet inside the house. Actually, this place is very spooky, whispered Chip. Maybe that's why we're here, said Wolf. So we can see the ghosts of Huntley Hall. There are no such things as ghosts, said Biff quietly. I'm sure that. She stopped. Hold on, what's that noise? A soft scratching sound was coming from behind the closed door. What do you think is making that noise? Whispered Chip. Biff held one finger to her lips as she went to the door. She reached for the handle and slowly turned it. The children stepped into the large room lit by oil lamps. There was a piece of paper on the table and a chair was pulled out, but there was no sign of anybody. Chip picked up the paper on the table. It's a drawing of those flowers over there, he said. But who made it? I know, said Wolf. A ghost must have done it. The ghost of Huntley Hall. The children jumped when a voice said, I am not a ghost. A boy stood up from a hiding place behind the desk. I was sketching those flowers, he said. The boy said his name was Henry. Why were you hiding behind the desk? Asked Biff. I heard a noise in the hall and got worried, Henry explained. I want to be an artist, he went on, but my father thinks that's silly. He gets cross when I sketch, so I wait until everybody is asleep. You're a good artist too, said Chip. I've got an idea, said Biff. Why don't you sketch the three of us? Henry smiled. That'll be nice, he said. Wolf put his hands on his hips and stuck his chin out. How's this? He joked. Henry pointed to the fireplace. Perhaps you should just all stand over there, he said. He took a fresh piece of paper and began to sketch. Biff, Chip, and Wolf concentrated hard on not moving a muscle. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew through the open window. The curtains billowed and knocked one of the lamps over. It fell onto a scrunched up piece of paper. It's on fire, cried Henry in alarm. The other children turned to see the flame catch at the bottom of the long curtain. There was no way to put the fire out. It climbed quickly, growing bigger and bigger. Quick, said Biff. We have to wake everybody in the house up. The children ran to the hall and began to shout, Wake up, fire! At the top of their voices. They heard footsteps clumping, and then a big man in a Richard raced down the stairs. "Where's the fire? What's going on, Henry?" he demanded. Henry pointed through the open door to the study. Henry's father took a deep breath. Then he shouted in a booming voice, "Servants, we need water in the study right now." The children could hear more footsteps and shout all around the house. Moments later, several servants appeared. They were carrying buckets, pans, and anything else that would hold water. When they threw the water onto the fire, it let out an angry-sounding hiss. At last the fire was out. "Who left the window open and an oil lamp lit?" asked Henry's father with a scowl. "I believe you did, dear," said Henry's mother from the stairs. It was only then that Henry's father noticed Biff, Chip, and Wilf. "Who are you three?" he demanded. "What are you doing here?" Luckily, the magic key had begun to glow in Biff's bucket. Before they disappeared, Chip had just a chance to give Henry a final word of advice. "Don't give up art. You're really good." The last thing they saw was Henry smiling. The next instant, the three children were back in Biff's bedroom. "It's a pity we didn't see any ghosts," said Wilf. They all agreed that it had been an exciting adventure anyway. The next day, Biff and Chip went with Wilf and his mom to Huntley Hall. Wilf's mom was happy to see how interested the three children were in the hall's history. The tour guide led them into the study. 200 years ago, a fire started in this room," the guide said. "It might have destroyed the house, but three mysterious strangers warned the Huntley family just in time. Nobody knew who they were, but it was lucky they were there," continued the guide. "Then they just vanished." The children looked at each other in surprise. "We didn't meet any ghosts," whispered Wilf. "I think we were the ghosts." In the next room, the tour guide talked about people who had lived in the house. "Henry Huntley became a successful artist," she said. "Here's Henry's painting of his father, who claimed to be his biggest fan." There were several of Henry's paintings and sketches in the room. "Look at this one," said Wilf's mom. "It looks a bit like you three." The children just smiled, remembering the night when Henry drew their picture.